Sandra's in the house. Sandra,
Woo-hoo!
are you ready for rapid fire moment?
I'm ready.
You're ready. Okay,
I'm ready.
cool.
I say
Okay.
yes to everything.
I love it. You do. You're amazing. Okay. 25 questions, 25 questions, rapid fire answers.
All
You
right.
can't think of it. You got to pass. Get
Okay.
through them as many as you can, as fast as you can. Cool?
Got it.
Awesome. I'm going to
Ready
count
to
you
go.
down. I'm going to count you down from 5, and then we're going to go.
All right.
Ready to rock. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What was your first job?
Burger King.
What is your favorite month?
May.
What is your favorite season?
Fall.
What is your favorite animal?
Cat.
What is your favorite color?
Purple.
What is your favorite food?
Pizza.
What is your favorite word?
Yes.
What word do you hate hearing?
No.
What word do you have a hard time pronouncing?
Pass.
Who do you text most?
Steve.
What has been your favorite age so far?
50.
What is your go-to lazy dinner?
Take it.
What is your favorite thing to do in the summertime?
Cruise on the boat.
How often do you floss?
Pass, because I don't want to answer it.
Do you have pets?
Yes.
Do you have kids?
Yes.
Are you married?
Soon to be.
Love or friendship?
Love.
Money or happiness?
Happiness.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
What is the best advice you've ever received?
God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them accordingly.
What do you wish you learned sooner?
Don't worry about what other people think.
What is your deepest fear?
Failure.
What is your biggest flaw?
Boundaries.
What is your favorite holiday food?
Oh, pecan pie.
Done.
Woo!
You got a couple pecan pie people. That was awesome. Amazing.
Oh, pecan pie rocks, man.
So good. So good. Well done. Rapid fire complete with Sandra and Tracy.
Woo!
Peace out.
Peace.
2 pecan pies and 2 boundaries.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I love that her favorite word is yes.
Yeah, me too.
I totally wrote that down.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. What's your favorite word?
I don't know, love, I guess. Joy, one of those words. What about you?
Bliss.
Bliss. That's a good one.
I love bliss. How are you feeling
Yes.
right now, Jen? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Mel was amazing. There was some vulnerable moments shared in the Zoom, which was just lovely. And I'm just inspired. I'm just like agitated, like agitated. It can be a good word and a bad word altogether. Like it's when something just shakes you up, like you need it to be shaken up. Like
Do you feel shaken a little bit?
yeah, I do.
I feel like your foundation is being shaken a little bit. So maybe
Yeah.
it can reset itself.
I'm having a hard time finding my footing. Like, when you're just,
okay.
like, how do you explain that? Like that feeling, I guess that's what I'm doing is explaining it, but you're off kilter a little bit. You're just, somebody just slapped me in the face, like, and not in a bad way, but I don't know
Isn't that what happens in life? Like we get shaken in life, and a lot of the times we can be shaken from things that were unexpected and not necessarily in a great way, and we're forced to reset ourselves. So we're actually stepping into a world where we're actually allowing ourselves to go into that, like that space where we're being shooken up a little bit, and we're being supported in the reset process by knowing that we actually have all these women that are available to us to support us. And that's a really beautiful place to be. It's being reminded we really are only shaken when we don't think that someone's going to catch us. Someone's going to be there for us.
And I feel, you said earlier, like this big circle of support women. It feels like a big hug.
Yeah, a big warm hug.
Embraced. I'm feeling embraced.
Like, can you imagine if you went away and you spent a week in this environment in nature? Can you imagine what that would be? Would that be like massively transforming? And you had to leave already having taken major steps towards something you wanted to do. That was part of your commitment to yourself coming into this camp. Can you imagine what that would be like?
I think that's really where the power in all this lies. You mentioned it earlier. I mean, not that you don't gain anything from being here, but unless you take action as a result of the transformation, like in your, your mindset, then you've only gone halfway. Like you really haven't. And like to your point earlier, you said it's not only that you've gone halfway, you've kind of taken a step back, right?
Mm-hmm. One of the biggest things I notice with women, Jen, is we get a taste of success. We get a taste of something that's working, or we're around people all the time that are always telling us how great we are. I'm going to tell you, if you're in a situation in life where right now people are always telling you how great you are, you want to get into a situation where people aren't saying that to you. Do you want to know why? That's how you grow. So like I have a mentor who basically gives me a left hook on a regular basis. And I actually pay for that shit. Like a lot.
Like cold plunges.
Like, yeah, like getting in freezing cold water and sitting there, like getting out of bed. And yeah, that's a whole other, but we will talk about that.
Yeah.
So we have to be willing to be shaken. And so to your point, feeling a bit shaken today, hearing things, we want to actually step into places that make us feel shaken, because that's when we actually have to call upon our internal tools to reset ourselves. And the only way you do that is to actually what you don't use, you'll lose. So I've got tools internally that I'm not using. And until I start to actually use them, then eventually they're not going to be usable anymore because I won't be around to use them. We want to start using our internal tools. And when we're shaken, we're forced to go inside. Like this is why like when we lose something or something happens in our lives and we're forced to go inside, that's a big deal. We like, and inside is a place that we don't know. We have to figure it out. We have to figure it out. We don't like when we have to figure things out. We like it when everything is already figured out. Safe. And if you can start to challenge yourself every day in one little way, not being safe, that's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind because you're going to experience something little in each day. And those quantum little experiences will all of a sudden, just like Mel said, something will be going on. You'll be like, oh, normally I would have been running from that. And I'm running to it.
Mel also said some really great words
she's amazing.
She said, and I had to write them all down.
So many.
She said juicy life. She said craptastic. She said joy bombs. She said wackadoo. She said it mix sucks. And she said dumbassery. And I just.
So many. No, what else? And a good one. She didn't say it today. The blame bus. Get off the blame bus.
Blame bus. That's a good one.
Or the wambulance, right?
Yes, that was from yesterday. But like to like, I'm not just saying that to have a good laugh, and I'll be laughing about that for a while, but language matters.
Yeah.
Like the way we deliver information. Like I won't forget a lot of her messaging because of how she delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. And I think a big thing that Mel shared really important was there isn't just one way. And there's not one way to actually achieve our goals. There's not one way to heal. There's not one way to step into what's next for us. There isn't just one way. There's many, many ways. And, that can maybe feel overwhelming knowing that. But the reality is take that and look at it from a place of, okay, if there's multiple ways for me to do something, then that lets go of the fear of I have to do it that way in order for me to get it. No, that's not how it works. You'll learn your way along the way. That's actually how it works. And every time you gain a new understanding of who you are and the more clarity you have of who you are, it helps you then navigate that journey of, really being able to definitively say that's right for me and that isn't. But when we're in that kind of messy space that we feel like we're not feeling grounded, that's when it's the hardest. But that's why you need people in your corner, people that really are going to challenge and stretch you because they believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And you borrow people's belief all day long. That's where you want to be right now. You got to borrow someone else's belief and be around people that believe in you more than you believe in yourself. Aren't just telling you you're doing a great job. They're actually forcing you to challenge yourself to do a better job. All right, we have an amazing woman coming up. She may be wearing something on her head that might be just like, what? Just wait and see. I love this woman so much. She's been working with me for a few months now. She's fabulous. I can't wait for you all to meet her. Bring her in. Bring her in for me, Jen.
Sandra Bruce is the fairy godmother of midlife. Thank God, I need one of those. She has a background in child and youth social work and worked in customer service for over 26 years, many of those leadership roles. It was when menopause came calling that Sandra decided to dedicate herself to helping other women embrace the whole evolution of life with confidence and gusto. Today, she works as the creator of Queenager VIP, where she aims to inform, uplift, and inspire women across the globe to join this exclusive celebration and reclaim their inner queen. Welcome, Sandra!
Woo! There she is. She's got her crown on. She's rocking her crown. She's on her boat. She's just like living
my life.
Living the life. You are amazing. Oh, I feel you. You're so ready to rock. Yeah. So good. Okay. Sandra.
Yes, honey.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you
I'm
feeling?
so honored to be here. I am so full of gratitude right now. I am so full of gratitude, not just to be here and to share my message with other women who are going down the midlife menopause path, but just the gratitude for all the other women that have been here, that have been sharing their knowledge, their gifts, their blessings, and just taking it all in. Like, I've got head to toe goosebumps yesterday and today, and just I'm full of gratitude, and full of gratitude for you for bringing this together and bringing such amazing women to change the world.
I'm having the time of my life, and all I'm thinking is, how can I do this even better next time? Yeah. That's what I'm doing. How can I elevate this experience for women? And I will. Thank you. And thank you for being here. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for just all the growth that you've experienced along the way. Has been incredible. And stepping into things. It's been a journey, and you've just opened yourself up to saying, okay, I'm going to do this. And where I want to start, because Queenager, can we just talk about let's talk about the birth of the concept of Queenager, because it's a really cool story.
So we have to kind of go back to, I guess, 2011, where my midlife journey started.
Yeah.
And I was approaching 40, and I had a really traumatic event in my life. My cousin, who I was very, very close to, I'm an only child. So my cousin was pretty much as close to having a brother as I could be, took his life at 49. And that really it shook my world. Everything came to a screeching halt. This was a man that seemed like he had everything together, was happy-go-lucky. I had seen him just a couple months before that, and he was planning his 50th birthday, and he kept saying, "You're going to come, right? You're going to come. You're going to come and celebrate with me." Of course I'm going to come. And to get that phone call saying he's gone, I all of a sudden stopped, and everything in life just became almost pedantic. Like, I started looking at things going, what's the point? What am I doing? What's the meaning of life, as cliche as that may sound? So it took time to go through that grief and figure that out. And just, suicide's just such a different thing than someone going through cancer, and, that journey of, that something's coming. It was just so sudden and so unexpected. So started working through that, and I started looking at, what am I doing with my life? And as I hit 40, I started having this voice saying, there's something else. There's something else. And I didn't know what that something else was, but something was making me very unsettled. and unsettled in everything. I was unsettled in my career. I was unsettled in my marriage. I was unsettled in my friendships. I was just unsettled. And fast forward to 2017. And in January, I decided, it's the year of decluttering. It was my resolution. I'm decluttering the house. There's way too much stuff in this house. I have toys from my boys when they were toddlers. They're now teenagers. The shit's got to go. Right? So I kind of started 2017 with that whole mindset of decluttering. Little did I know that the universe had a much bigger decluttering in mind, and it became I decluttered my life. My entire life started to fall apart around me. I came to the realization that I was done with my marriage. It had been a great marriage. We'd been together for 20 years. We had 2 amazing kids. He's a wonderful man. I still loved him, but we weren't going in the same path, and our marriage was over. I was no longer satisfied with my work. I can remember sitting in my cubicle one day and saying, I'm done. I'm done. I didn't know what else I was going to do. I had no clue. But I knew that staying in that cubicle and doing a Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 was not in my future. I couldn't see what the future was, but that wasn't going to be it. And by August of that year, I had resigned from my career, which had been a great career. I had really enjoyed what I did. I did a lot of traveling. I got to meet a lot of people. I enjoyed it. I had filed for a divorce. I had planned on leaving my home. That didn't work out, but that kind of worked out in a way. But yeah, everything just fell apart, and I took time to really just sit back and say, what do I want to do? It was crazy, and while I was going through that, I started feeling so confused, so lost. I felt really alone. I felt like nobody else really understood what I was going through. I started feeling reckless. I started feeling almost like a teenager. If you think back to when we were teenagers, 16, 17, that I can do anything. I don't care. I'm going to do what I want. Almost that rebellious attitude that was coming through. And I went down some pretty iffy paths during that time. I developed probably an unhealthy appreciation of whiskey and scotch. I developed a little bit of an unhealthy affliction for being more open than I really should be, in a bad way. It just all those things that we kind of do as teenagers in our trying to find ourselves came back to do the same thing as I was in midlife. It wasn't until I hit 50 that I really got clarity on what it was. In between there, I had a really big health scare. In 2019, I had gone back to work for a little while, doing the I'm going to do what I have to do until I can do what I want to do kind of mantra. Getting myself financially settled after the divorce and whatnot. And so I had this major health scare. It was a stroke waiting to happen, literally. I ended up in the emergency room. ER nurse took my blood pressure, looked at the machine, went, gee, that's really weird. It was working just a few minutes ago. So she unplugged the machine, reset everything, took my blood pressure again, and looked at me and said, are you okay? Well, clearly I'm here, so something's not okay. And what brought me to the hospital, I really can't explain. I wasn't feeling nauseous. I didn't have a pounding headache. I wasn't feverish. I wasn't having chest pains. There was just something telling me you need to go and have this looked at. Something's not right. And my blood pressure was 218 over 188. Literally a stroke waiting to happen. How I didn't have a stroke, I don't know, other than divine intervention. But it was the voice saying, okay, you haven't been listening. I'm going to make you listen.
Right.
I'm going to make you stop and listen to me because you need to hear what I have to say. You are done with this part of your life. You are now ready to create a new life. Went through a million different tests. One of the other women talked about phantom illnesses. I was the epitome of phantom illnesses. They were doing medical tests on me that were so obscure, looking for something that might affect 1 in a million people, because nobody could figure out why I was going through this crisis. Well, turns out it wasn't really a crisis. I was metamorphosizing. I thought it was a midlife crisis at the time. I thought when I was 45 and I was having all these thoughts and I thought, oh my God, I'm losing my mind. What is wrong with me? And then I had this health crisis. I thought it was a midlife crisis. And I kind of chalked a lot of it up to, oh, I'm having a midlife crisis. When I hit 50 and I really started to get clarity on what it was that it was happening and what I was going through, it became more clear. I was never in crisis. I was metamorphosizing.
Wow.
I was going from, this was my life, and now I am birthing a new life. And so Queenager came about because of a meme, of all things. I had a girlfriend who sent me this meme, and it said, menopausal women shall be called Queenagers. And I went, oh, that's so funny, right? And I have a special place in my heart for Queen Elizabeth. I have mad respect for that woman, rest in peace. But when I started looking at what it is that I wanted to do and how I wanted to bring my experience, my journey forth and help other women on their journey, I mentioned to my mentors that I was working with at the time about this Queenager meme, and all three of us sat there dead and went, that's it. That's
so
what
weird.
it's Queenager.
Isn't that awesome?
VIP is because, life is better when you go VIP, right? I love VIP, as you can tell.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
that.
Queenager. That's how Queenager was born. And, I was thinking about this morning as I was getting ready, and I was putting on my tiara and my bling, and I had a woman ask me a little while ago, have you always been like this, or did something happen? And I haven't always been like this. I haven't always embraced my crown. I haven't always embraced bling. And I spent most of my life wanting to hide. I spent most of my life wanting not to be seen, not wanting to stand out in the crowd. I wanted to just blend in. I didn't want the spotlight. I wanted to just go along my little merry way and just, do my thing and stay small. And it wasn't until I've gone through this journey of midlife and metamorphosizing and birthing Queenager that I came to realize I wasn't meant to play small. I wasn't meant to be in the shadows. I was meant to embrace the crown and embrace the Queenager that's within me and that's within every single woman out there. And menopause is one of those things. Every single woman will go through menopause. Every single one. Yeah, not everyone will go through pregnancy, but every single woman will go through menopause. And I look at menopause as it's puberty in reverse. Right? You go through that hormonal upheaval in puberty, and we celebrate that. We celebrate puberty. We have sweet 16s and quinceañeras and bat mitzvahs, and it's, oh, she's a woman now. And then we get to this age and we're going through menopause and we're having the same hormonal upheavals, but nobody talks about it. Nobody wants to celebrate what it is to be a woman in midlife, woman in menopause.
Mm.
We all, you know, the proverbial, oh, she's past her prime is the
Oh,
narrative.
what a
I
stupid
know,
thing to
right?
say.
How
Past your
disgusting
prime.
is that?
Meanwhile, you know when you hit 50, and I know Carol talks
I
about
am
50.
just getting
Prime,
started.
prime just keeps getting better and better and better and
Oh, yeah.
better, like
Oh.
with age, right? Like wine and like so many things. Cheese gets better with age, and it's just,
Exactly.
you got to think about that. There's a theme going on there. So
Things get better with
embracing
age.
embracing this new place that we're stepping into, that nature calls upon us without us having any control over it. The only thing we have control is our perspective on it, and
Absolutely.
starting to actually, and I think acknowledging, I mean, I'm in it right now, acknowledging that what we want in our lives is going to be different than it was before we stepped into this. What we
100%.
are like, what's important to us, like we really have to be willing to, like just like a butterfly, let go of the old shell and step into the new. And it seems
Absolutely.
cliche and all the other things, but it's actually not. Like, I mean, honestly, I've never loved my decade like I love my 50s. I'm going to be 54 tomorrow, actually, and I love
No,
my 50s. It's been the
yeah,
most amazing time.
it really has. You know, when you asked me in the rapid fire, what's my favorite age? 50.
Yeah,
Hands down,
yeah,
50.
yeah.
I love turning 50. It was such a pivotal year for me, and it just keeps getting better. You know, it just keeps getting better. But you're right, it's all about framing that. And there's grief that comes with metamorphosis. There's a ton of grief that comes with that. I grieved my past life very, very much for, I think probably 8 months. I went into a serious depression, and I didn't know why. I had no clue why all of a sudden, as I'm living my best life at 49 and living, you know, I had just moved onto the boat. I had gotten rid of my matrimonial home from my first husband. I was on my way to what I wanted to create in my life, and all of a sudden I was in a pit of despair. There were days I couldn't get out of my bed because I was just so distraught. And it wasn't until I sat with it and I sat with the emotions. I said, what do I need to learn? What is it that's causing me to feel this way? And it was grief. It was grief for the life that I had before, and not in a bad way, not in a, oh, I want my life back, because I didn't.
Right.
But it was a loss of who I was before, of the Sandra Deer that had existed before and had a great life. You know, from all accounts, anyone looking at me thought I had it all. I had a great career. I had kids. I had a house. I had a car. We traveled. You know, we made good money. All the things. But I needed to just grieve for the death of that, the birth of, celebrate the birth of who I am now, and who I continue to grow into.
And there's that in-between stage where you haven't left, you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, right? And it's a very strange, it's like, I think 17 is a really awkward age for teenagers.
Yep. That was a pivotal year for me.
Very strange age, right? And I find like that in-between spot where you feel the most awkward is the most potential for you to learn and self-discovery. It's so powerful because you're kind of forced to either do that, to navigate it with a little more ease and flow and grace and effortless way, or you just kind of don't like this anymore and you're not ready for that, so you kind of attack it from a crappy place. Does that make sense? Like what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It really does. It's like a messy middle.
Messy middle. Yeah.
The messy middle, you know, you're on the shore here, and you know that you want to go to that shore over there, but you've got to traverse all this stuff in the middle. you know, and I live on a boat, so I use a lot of nautical analogies, but you know, you're having to cross this river that's got huge currents and riptides, and the waves are bashing against you, and you are trying to fight through it because you can't go back because you've gotten this far. Going back is pointless because it's going to be just as hard to go back as it is to keep going forward.
Yeah.
And the good stuff's on the other side.
Yeah.
Grass is greener on the other side.
So let's talk about this navigating this space, because I think, you know, you said why, and I forget the context you were using that in, but the why is we talk about we don't need to know the how, but we need to know the why.
Yep.
And the why, it can be, why is this happening?
Mm-hmm.
And
I ask that a lot.
And that understanding gives us like the substance that we need to say, okay, like now I get this. So it's not because I'm a freak and I'm going crazy. It's because this is actually what my body's experiencing. But now I get to choose how I want to respond to that. And that's going to allow me to step into the next. And so what are some things that you help women like me guide us through this metamorphosis so we can actually step into our queenness, step into, like, the queen is the theme here too. We have queendom, we've got queenager. Like, it's really pretty cool. I've been seeing all these amazing themes happening throughout this summit. And so how do we start this journey? Like walk us through, because I know you've created an amazing ebook and so many amazing things. Can you help us walk through some of that so we can experience
Absolutely.
some navigation?
So we have to go back to that little girl. It really stems from, go back to that little girl, because that little girl was born for greatness. She was born to be bold. And we were all given gifts to share with the world. But here's what happened. Life happened. We came into a world where we were told, okay, well, little girls are made of sugar and spice. Little girls are nice. Little girls do this. And little girls don't do that. And as we grow up in this society of patriarchy, and I'm not going to go down that road because it's a little bit cliche and it's a little bit overdone, but we live in a world where women and men have different roles. And so we grow up with this in different variations of families, obviously, and we've got other traumas that jump in there. So that when we get to this midlife where things have been going along and we've been playing the role that we've been told we have to play, once we hit midlife, there's something that clicks inside us. And it says, that is not what you were meant to do. You are not fulfilling the role that I gave you. You need to change. And most of us will sit there and go, I don't know what you're talking about because I'm fine. I'm running along. I've got everything I wanted. I've created the life I want. And it's not until something traumatic happens that most of us will stop and say, oh, wait a second. Maybe there's something here. So what I help women do is try to avoid the massive trauma or the massive setback, be it a health issue, be it a literal falling apart. I help women try to make the falling apart a little bit easier. And oftentimes it's women that'll come to me and say, I don't know what's happening, but I think I'm losing my mind. And they don't know what their path is. And so some women come and they're already at the path. A lot of the women here, they already know, I want to get out of my damn way. I know that I'm on this path. I just need some help figuring out where the path is. And that's great. And we work on that and we look at, we're going to do vision board. We're going to start creating a life. We're going to dig into what is it you desire. other women, it really does. It goes back to what brings you joy. What lights you up every day? And I've had some women where we start so basic. We go, look at your 5 senses and tell me one thing for each sense that lights you up. What lights you up visually? What, when you hear that sound, lights you up? What, when you smell that smell, fills you with so much love? And we start that small.
That's really cool. Those are such simple things that we can do. That really like connects us to what we like, what brings us joy. Like, that's just a great, easy exercise. I love that.
I've asked the question to so many women, what do you want?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a loaded question. Women don't.
It is a loaded question because we don't know. We've never allowed ourselves to dream. We don't allow ourselves to put our needs, our wants, forget about needs, what we want front and center. Right?
I think it's that moment, right? That I'm not meant to do this moment. And I don't know, like, that's the moment, like, that's when I really, really embodied why I'm here. And I continue, right? I'll elevate that now. But there was that moment where I had to walk away from a business that I was growing for 4 years because I just knew I wasn't meant to do that anymore. Like, oh, you work so hard and you've done so well and you've been successful and you have a team and all this. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not meant to do that. I know I'm not meant to do that. Inside my body, it was like, you're not meant. I literally had that. I remember crying, going, how can I do this? I have, it's this, and it's this. There was like this list of reasons. Yeah. And I was like, but I won't be happy if I stay there. Shit, I won't. That was the absolute, I will not be happy if I stay there. So I had to have that come to Jesus moment and go, okay, Tracy, this is it. Big decision. What are you going to do? And I made a big decision, and like, thank the Lord I did. That's when everything opened up. But it's having those come to Jesus moments. I know you use different tools too to help women with that. And one of them is helping them through that space of not knowing exactly what they want, asking powerful questions, like you just said, simple questions. And then you use another really cool tool, don't you?
I do. I love doing vision boarding with women. And vision boarding, you know, it's not what we think of, you know, get together with the girls and a bottle of wine. We're going to do this nice collage. No. That's not the vision boarding that we do. The vision boarding that we do is we connect to an emotion and we say, what is it we want to feel? And translate that into an image. So maybe it's you want a big house. So we find a picture of a house that resonates with the women, and I ask them, okay, well, what is it that you want in that house? What does that house represent to you? Does it represent freedom? Does it represent love? Does it represent generosity? What does it represent to you? And when we start connecting the emotion to the image, it just becomes so much more powerful. And the whole journey of developing that vision board takes them down that path of what is it that you want? Why do you want it? What do you want to feel? Because it's all about feeling, right? We've disconnected from our feelings so much.
Yeah. And you give people, you create a space for women to actually give themselves permission to just literally think about their life. I mean, you can even make it that simple. I'm giving you permission right now to think about it. You're giving yourself permission, and I'm creating a space for you to just think about your life. And say, I don't want to think about my life. Well, if that's how you're feeling, really ask yourself why you're saying that. Because if you love your life, you only want to think about your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's really beautiful. So much juiciness there. Honestly, you know, your story's amazing. I just learned something about your story today that I didn't know. And it really tied the pieces together for me, why you created this Queenager movement. And I know that you're helping so many women. And you're just real. You're very authentic, and you just have this beautiful way about you, Sandra, that just lets people not feel like they have to show up any different than who they are in that moment. And then you're going to guide them in your beautiful way to helping them unveil what their queenager experience in life gets to be like, and knowing your queenager experience is just another experience, because after that there's another one, right?
Exactly. After that, you move on with Carol.
You move on with Carol.
And you become the
all your bases covered. Literally, that's so amazing. We have this amazing circle. We got you here, and then you can go here, and if you want to cross over this way, you can do that. This is what this space is all about, and this space is, I believe, what women have been looking for a long time. All in one beautiful
100%.
container of love and support, and knowing that it's like, you know, when you go to a doctor's office, I mean, I never go to a doctor's office. You go to somewhere where there's people doing their own specialties, but there's a beautiful aura and energy around, because everyone works together in harmony. Everyone supports each other. And that is what, you know, that is really important, right? And I know that you are part of that harmony. I'm so grateful for you. You're just a fabulous human being. You have a beautiful spirit. You're doing such amazing things. And if you want to check out this powerful woman, Sandra Bruce's moment in the first session, go in, talk about, hello, midlife, right? Not crisis, metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis.
Go and chat with this lady. She's got your back.
I sure do. I'll hold your hand.
Love you, Bella.
Mwah, I love you too.